In the top left, playing Sigrid, we have Saikoya up against Vesper in the bottom right. So this is really interesting because normally I would say Sigrid is the weakest commander you can pick. But this map in particular, Sigrid has a very strong rush. Because when you're dealing with the weak side of your opponent, where they only have one barracks against your two, they will build things like golems, essentially dragons out of the tower. So yeah, like that is not very good at fighting Sigrid of all people. And this is actually a really interesting capture route. Kind of like swinging into the center and then coming back for a heal off of the village.
I'm not sure about it myself, but the Sigrid pick is also directed towards Stargen, like I said in game 1. Actually, interestingly enough, I think he banned Elodie for this game.
Right. So yeah, I guess like LOD would be the other commander that would be really great in the situation if your opponent has like a single strong unit defending. Sigrid just walking forward, capping a village. I mean, she loves to fight. That's her thing. Like if you can fight enemy units early game and build groove, you don't really care as much about taking damage. It's all about getting ready to do the big suck later on. Yeah, there's that golem on defense. Stargen feeling the pressure, but Sigrid's perfectly able to deal with that. Ooh, she goes for that hit on that village. Nice bit of groove built there. Does mean she's a little bit lower health, but if something hits her, I think that's actually enough to push her into groove. She's
Yeah,
87%
like
just now.
a very fun interaction with Dark Mercia and Sigrid is that when they get closer to getting groove, poking them becomes like less and less. It actually becomes a detriment to you.
Yeah.
Because you're giving groove and the poke you're doing is actually irrelevant since the groove has self-heal in it.
Ooh, Vesper went really far forward there despite there being a dragon. But I guess the option is there to just walk back and heal. And ooh, I like that. The decap of that village. Sigrid sitting on groove. There's a bunch of like chunky units surrounding her, a couple of knights. Stargen gonna do runs back to the flagstone. Gets that heal. Vesper sitting on some nice sensible there. And I think Stargen, realizing that he's up against a Sigrid with groove, just goes, oh, well, I actually don't have the army to deal with this composition. And oh, even the dragon's coming to the center, so yeah, this is a very strong offensive Sigrid here. Yeah, the interesting defense choice here of like just have a lot of spears and an archer, because they will hold the south long enough for the offensive in the north to win out. And sure, like Vesper's pretty close to groove, like she's probably going to get it in a turn, maybe 2 turns, but Sigrid is like right next to that enemy stronghold.
Yep, with like dragon and 3 knights.
And I think there's even like a safe hit on the stronghold with the dragon. So yeah, just knights lining up for... Ooh. Oh, that's really strong, because the dragon will be able to kill a unit that's in front of the stronghold, and Sigrid can always kill a unit in front of a stronghold.
Yep.
So, Stargen Just has to put like the heaviest units possible in front. Double golem, swords. Oh,
And there's
that's all.
also some road in front of the HQ, so it makes this very complicated.
Yeah. And honestly, like, I don't think there's enough there to defend from Stargen.
He's sending some units from the south, and he has Groove.
But I believe with that dog sacrifice and that dragon hit, the double knight crit is now available. And that's GG. And with a really, honestly great play using Sigrid on this map, Saikoya takes the set 2-1.
Yep, Sigrid is good.
Yeah. That is not something you would expect to hear very often, but she has her strength on this map. And you know, there are ways of defending against that, right? Like, you could send your commander to go defend. You could pick someone like, I guess, like Greenfinger or something, put vines up in front of her, and then try and force like a really strong defense coming out. Like, you can kind of deflect the early rush, but if you don't deflect it, then Sigrid is able to just kind of push. And can't really stop her.
Yeah, I mean, it's really all about that early rush. If you can get to a point where Sigrid can't like set up the army to attack the HQ like I did, then he falls off very hard.
And Stargen in
So,
chat
I
saying
mean,
he was hoping to use Vesper Groove, but it was one turn too slow.
yep. Actually, I think the correct play here would have maybe been to fight into Sigrid Groove before she reached the HQ. But that's like very hard to see, and it doesn't feel good to do that.
Yeah, because then you're potentially going for a longer game, and like we saw another game that had Sigrid involved, and it just kind of stalemated because neither player had the. Once the map kind of gets to a certain point in the unit count, it's really hard to attack. It is possible, it just takes ages. So, but yeah, that was a really good execution of the rush with Sigrid. So well played. Congratulations for coming through first place in your region.
Yay!
Alright. Well, we're gonna go to the next set.
Oh, actually, the the dog suicide. I remembered that was a thing because of all the meme around that Reddit article. It's like, wait, I can do this.
Power of memes.
Exactly.